This video is sponsored by Skillshare. For a lot of people in Asia, Doraemon is pure nostalgia. It's one of the longest running animes ever, starting way back in the 1970s. The series follows the life of Nobita, a lazy 10-year-old boy who's bad at school, bad at sport, and generally just a loser all around. In fact, he's such a loser, even his great-great-grandson worries about his well-being, and decides to send a robot cat butler back in time to take care of Nobita. Each episode has Nobita getting into some troubles, and Doraemon would give him a gadget to solve the problem, only for the gadget to backfire due to human incompetence. And that is usually the joke of the series, making fun of people's reliance on technology. Stand By Me, Doraemon is a series of 2 standalone films, retelling the complete story from Nobita and Doraemon's first encounter to them becoming friends to the day they have to say goodbye. It's a faithful adaptation with only one exception. Nobita is no longer the butt of the joke. Yes, he is still a talentless loser in life. Yet, despite his incompetence, Nobita nevertheless lives a colorful and fulfilling life, loved by many. What's his secret? Well, let's take a look at Stand By Me, Doraemon. Before we start, this is your spoiler warning. Both films are excellent and well worth a watch. You don't have to be familiar with the source material to enjoy them. With that out of the way, let's start with the first film. Always late for school, Nobita doesn't seem like someone with ambitions. But that's not entirely true. Nobita does have one calling in life. He wants to marry the one he loves, Shizuka. It seems like a childish desire at first. I mean, he's only 10. But thanks to the wonders of a time machine, we see him continues to love her well into adulthood. Now, it's worth noting that this film does have some problematic writings. Namely, Shizuka exists mostly as a trophy for Nobita. It's part of the problems of a story written back in the 60s. A problem that will be somewhat rectified in the second film. For now, just bear with me. At first, Nobita does try to take shortcuts. He tries to take Shizuka's heart by using what is essentially a brainwashing machine. As expected, it backfires, causing her to fall in love with someone else.
僕だって静香君のことは大好きだよ。でも、こんな道具に頼って君の心を動かすのは嫌なんだよ。
And Nobita, stupid as he may be, does learn a lesson from it.
いろいろ考えたんだけどさ、とりあえず次のテストで0点取らないように頑張ろうと思う。
Realizing self-improvement is the only way to be loved, Nobita begins studying. Indeed, when Nobita sets his eyes on something, he too can be persistent and dedicated. And this is one of the most subtle but interesting points of the film. You don't need grand ambition for a meaningful life. Nobita's goal is small, but look at how happy he is when he's working towards that goal.
25×3 は75!
Later in life, Nobita never becomes famous. He has no talent for greatness.
僕は両親やおばあちゃんの期待通りにはいかなかったのかもしれません。本当はもっと立派な芸術家とか野球選手なんかに育ってもらいたかったのかもしれません。
But what he has is happiness. Because happiness doesn't come from success. It comes from a willingness to work towards your goal, however ordinary it may be.
少々頼りない僕ですが、静香さんと温かい家庭を作っていくこと、そのことだけには自信があります。
And so, exam day comes, and Nobita realizes he's been studying math for a kanji test. Well, there's always next time. If Nobita can study to better himself, so can we. That's why you should check out today's sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of creative classes for you to learn a new skill and improve yourself. If this film piques your interest in animation, and it is a very good-looking film, there are classes on Skillshare you can take, both 2D and 3D animation. Check out Blender 3D, your first 3D animation, a comprehensive beginner's class that guides you through the process step by step. With other classes like script writing, voice acting, and editing, you can pretty much make an entire animated film on your own. The first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link in the description will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare, so you can start exploring your creativity. Better yourself today, learn a new skill with Skillshare. If you have a time machine, what will you do? For Nobita, he chooses to visit the person he misses the most, his grandma, who passed away when Nobita was still in kindergarten.
せめて学校に行く頃まで生きられればいいんだけどね。
And with just one request,
ランドセルを背負って学校へ行く姿、一目見たいね。
Nobita travels back and forth through time just to make grandma happy. For the rest of the second film, Nobita travels into the future to ensure his wedding goes according to plan. Not out of a desire to ensure his future happiness, he did not think to intervene before. He does so now because he made a promise to his grandma.
わかったおばあちゃん、お嫁さんに会わせてあげる。
This is perhaps the greatest quality of Nobita, his empathy.
あの青年は決して目立った取り柄があるわけじゃない。しかし人の幸せを願い、人の不幸を悲しむことができる。それが人間にとって一番大事なことなんだからね。
Nobita travels through time to save Shizuka. He learns to fend for himself so Doraemon doesn't have to worry about him after he leaves. And he made what must have been a big sacrifice in the eyes of a 10-year-old. He stopped being friends with Shizuka because he realizes he's a loser and he only brings her down. Of course, he also worked hard to keep his promise to grandma.
おばあちゃん、のびちゃんが約束を守るために必死で頑張ったことが嬉しいんだよ。いっぱいいっぱい苦労したね。泣き虫のあんなに小さいのびちゃんがこんな立派な男の子になるんだね。
Nobita is stubborn and not good at helping, but he always tries, because his heart is always in the right place. And it's because of this, I think, that he manages to win over the love of Shizuka and the love of his friends. Because when he is happy for others, others in turn are happy for him. There's this odd belief that reliance on others means you are a loser. I cannot disagree more. While it's true that the series constantly makes fun of Nobita for his over-reliance on Doraemon and his gadgets, the films also celebrate Nobita's connection with his friends. In a climactic scene of the second film, Nobita gets into trouble with a bunch of high school kids. At moments like this, it doesn't matter how strong he is, it doesn't matter how much talent he has, he can't fight off the others alone. And so, his friends come to the rescue. This may seem slightly off topic, but bear with me. In 2017, Arnold Schwarzenegger gave an inspiring speech at the University of Houston.
You can call me Arnie, but don't ever call me a self-made man. I didn't make it that far on my own. I mean, to accept that credit or that medal would discount every single person that has helped me to get here today.
No one is truly self-made. No one is successful alone. Nobita may be a loser by the common definition, but through his empathy, his willingness to help, his persistence in making others happy, Nobita uplifts others, who in turn uplift him. And so, this ragtag group of 10-year-olds manages to fight off the high school bullies. Nobita goes on to live a happy and fulfilling life, surrounded by people whom he loves and people who love him. What's more successful than that? So, there's this urban legend about how the Doraemon series was supposed to end. In this fan-created story, Doraemon runs out of battery one day, and because he's from the future, no one in the present knows how to turn him back on. To reawaken his best friend, Nobita finally found the motivation to study. He went on to become a world-renowned scientist. On the day he finally reawakes Doraemon, upon seeing his old friend, Nobita hugs him, like he always did in his childhood. It's a touching story, but now, after watching the two films, I think the canon story is superior. Having Nobita grow up to be a famous scientist feels kinda lame. It inadvertently puts a lot of emphasis on wealth and status, instead of what the films deem truly important. In the film, Nobita grew up to be an ordinary Joe with an ordinary job. The fact that he isn't special is the biggest strength of the story. You don't need to be special to be successful, and you don't have to be successful to be happy. In truth, Nobita is never truly a loser. He has one goal in life, he worked hard for it, and he's happy he achieved it. Isn't that enough?